Welcome to Independence Nation on the Light of Life Network. I am Keith Pitts, your host, and today we're going to tackle this issue of journalist murders. As a matter of fact, numerous journalists have been murdered or killed in the United States while reporting, covering a military conflict, or because of their status as a journalist. At least 39 of these have been directly targeted as a result of their journalistic investigations. We'll begin with Triad Lee, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, September 22nd, 1990. Triad was a columnist, or controversial columnist of a Vietnamese magazine, and he was assassinated. Now, this seems to be the variable among all the ones that we'll name here, that they were a bit of a columnist, but most importantly that there was controversial content, and therefore the journalist was assassinated. We go further with February 19th, 1991, Jean-Claude Olivier, known for his controversial commentary, and was assassinated on his way to his car. Now, his investigation was directly related to Jean Bertrand Aristide, which was a Haiti president, and there was a conflict with the U.S. that he was going to, or had agreed to, roll back several reforms. And Jean-Claude Olivier was in support of Jean Bertrand Aristide, and therefore was a target of an assassination. Moving forward, March 15th, 1991, Fritz Dorr. Now, this is important because Fritz was a colleague of Olivier at WLQY, and he was assassinated as he left a club. Once again, this is in direct relationship with the Haiti president, as we aforementioned. Now, March 11, 1992, Manuel de Dios Yunane, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was murdered by Colombian drug traffickers for writing about the drug trade. So once again, controversial content. He has a clear and present enemy, and he is assassinated. October 24th, 1993, Donna St. Plite. St. Plite was attending a benefit for former colleague Fritz Dorr when he was also assassinated for supporting Jean Bertrand Aristide. Now, you'll see that Donna St. Plite, Fritz Dorr, and let's see here, and Jean-Claude Olivier were all colleagues, all assassinated for supporting Jean Bertrand Aristide. Once again, for having conflict with the U.S., agreeing to roll back several reforms. September 11th, 2001, Bill Biggert, killed while photographing the World Trade Center before the tower collapsed. And that's the key, because he was killed or assassinated for photographing the World Trade Center, possibly having information before the tower collapsed. We move on. October 5th, 2001. Robert Stevens, murdered as one of the media targets of the 2001 anthrax threats, less than a month after 9/11. So once again, a journalist with information that could go public, murdered in 2001, a month after 9/11. August 2nd, 2007, Chauncey Bailey. After investigating corruption in his community, Bailey was murdered on his way to work by the target of his reporting. Once again, this is just from 1990 to 2007. We're going to talk about something more recent, but you can see the pattern that journalists having real and viable information are assassinated time and time again. Like I said, this is only from 1990 till 2007, but if we were going to list them all, we would be going back to the 60s even further, and we don't have that type of time. But this is just to lay the groundwork of what we're about to get to, because some people think it's strange for people to say that journalists, and that a particular journalist here recently could be assassinated. Now, subsequently, in the Iraq War, 136 journalists were killed. At least 15 of them, approximately about 11% of the total, were killed by U.S. forces, sometimes apparently with deliberate intent. So there are those in the mainstream media who say that if someone believes that a journalist is assassinated, we're some type of wacko, that you wear some type of aluminum foil hat. But the truth is that journalists have been assassinated over the decades, and that it's not strange. It is not some type of weird thought that these recent journalists, Michael Hastings, could have been assassinated. And we're gonna take a look. We're gonna delve straight into the information. And once again, I'm not going to try to make you believe something. I'm going to let you see the information and choose for yourself what exactly happened. Now, it's important to point out that the Los Angeles Police Department said that there was no foul play. They ruled out foul play. They said that Hastings' car crossed the median, slammed into a tree, and burst into flames. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put that theory to flight, because as you will see shortly, that his car actually never hit the tree, but came to rest beside the tree. And so we're going to delve into that also here shortly. So the vehicle, they said, was speeding. I believe the vehicle was speeding also, but I have a reason for that. I believe that he was noticeably being pursued and noticeably being followed. It is also important to point out that the spokesman, Richard French, said detectives did not share with his office the reasons behind their conclusion, meaning that it was an accident. So I must say, first off, just to lay a groundwork about myself, I've always been good with science, especially chemistry. I graduated from high school with the highest chemistry scores in my high school's history. And so it's important for me not to give you fallacies, but to give you scientific rationale, scientific reasoning for the information that I'm about to relate to you. So, as I said, the car, therefore Michael Hastings' car, was on the street, and it is my belief that it exploded while he was driving. And the explosion occurred while he was on the street driving down. I believe he was driving southward down the street. Now, this is due to the fact that the engine being propelled from his vehicle landed directly down the street, uh, as you could say, perpendicular from where his car was. So it could not have been that he hit a tree and that the engine went off to the right and down the street. When the car exploded, it had to be the engine propelled had to be propelled directly in front of the vehicle, not off to the side, not to the left or to the right, but propelled directly down the street. So, and that's science 101. Now, if the tree would have caused the explosion, now, because as we have just read, the Los Angeles Police Department said that he swerved, hit the tree, and basically there that the tree itself caused the explosion. But if the tree would have caused the explosion, the engine, then, if it was propelled anywhere, would have been propelled back through the cab. So let's scientifically look at it. If I'm driving a car, I drive straight into an object, the engine would not be propelled or ejected to the left or to the right down the street, basically at a right angle, but it would have propelled back through the cab of the vehicle, or it would have not been propelled at all. So we must look at that scientifically as well. Also, in the pictures, the car came to rest by the tree, beside the tree. It did not hit the tree at all. And so I have to ask myself, who did this investigation? Or were they basically told to negate the evidence? And we're going to show you a picture of the vehicle as soon as my mouse starts working here. We're going to show you a picture of the vehicle beside the tree per our screenshot here. One moment, we'll get that screenshot up. Okay, as you can see here, the tree is next to the vehicle, not up against the vehicle. So we know that the tree did not cause the explosion. We also can take a look at the vehicle, and the actual blunt of the explosion looks like it came from the front and also the back, around the fuel of the car. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back here. Okay, so you saw there the picture. The tree was further away than up against the front engine part of the vehicle. It is my personal belief that the point of explosion had to be behind the engine in order to propel it down the street. Let's look at it scientifically once again. In order to propel the engine down the street, the point of explosion would have to be behind the engine. And due to the deterioration of the vehicle, I would say the explosion was placed near or under the dashboard of the vehicle. So let's look at this. Okay, the tree was further away from where the eyewitness's house was. And this is important because the eyewitness, and we didn't upload the video, but the eyewitness said the explosion shook her home. Now, this is very important because when we spoke to the other eyewitnesses around her area, the other homes said that they didn't shake. And this is very important to me because that lets me know that the vehicle had to be approximately in front of her home at the point of the explosion. Once again, propelling the engine directly down the street. So we take a look at that, and the car would have had to be in front of her home to feel such an impact. Okay, also, as I said, the explosion's ground zero, or the point of the explosion, would have had to be in behind the engine, propelling the engine down the street, meaning that this would have been a dashboard uh, detonation. And that's important because it is my personal theory, and I want you to understand that I am going into um, basic theory now, and it may not hold as much scientific evidence as displayed, but it is my personal belief and my personal theory that Hastings was being followed, and that therefore he was driving faster than what he would normally drive. But they were showing themselves as following him, and therefore caused them to speed up. But they weren't actually following him to catch up with him, but to bait him into driving into a more secluded area, at which time they detonated the explosion. And as I said, the car went off the road, already being exploded, already have shaken the eyewitness's home, and the explosion did not shake anyone else's home around the area, but came to rest by the tree. Okay, we know from this to be fact that Hastings had contacted WikiLeaks lawyer Jennifer Robinson about being under investigation by the FBI, and that he was going to expose the CIA in an article said to be the best of his work. So we must take that into account as well. Once again, I am a former public official, currently the president of Light of Life, and a nonprofit organization. I will soon be a lawyer. I do not wear an aluminum foil hat. I can only give you the information as I see it, and you can make the decision on your own. The mainstream media tries to make independent media out to be wackos because they get government subsidies, and they use sound bites. They're not going to tell you what they actually think. If they did, they'd be out of a job, and they would not receive any further government assistance. Okay, so let me move forward. There was a McChrystal staffer who threatened Michael Hastings in the past. He said, and I quote, "We'll hunt you down and kill you if we don't like what you write," end quote. So once again, this has to be taken into account, that he feels like he's being followed by the FBI. He's about to release the biggest piece of work he's ever done on the CIA. He's threatened in the past, and we have to take all this into account. Now, the feds, he said, were investigating, were interviewing his close friends and associates, and he felt that he needed to go off the radar for a bit. It's important also to say that the FBI denied having any investigation on the journalist, excuse me, Michael Hastings, and that basically saying they don't know what he's talking about. They had no investigation. But as I said, things don't add up here. Um, I took the liberty of contacting the Mercedes-Benz Corporation concerning the C250. The question was posed during the 300 safety tests conducted on the Mercedes-Benz C250. Has such a vehicle ever exploded on impact? Um, their statement was no, the vehicle has never exploded during safety qualifications. So once again, if the tree did cause the blunt of the impact, and that the tree was basically the purpose, uh, there still has never been an explosion, even in safety testing. Over 3,000 safety tests, there has never been an explosion of the Mercedes-Benz C250. As a matter of fact, the person I spoke with at Mercedes-Benz had no knowledge of the car ever exploding on impact at all. That no, this has never happened. This has never occurred. Car and Driver has given Mercedes-Benz C250 a high rating for safety, and for all the package that it offers. So once again, we have to take a look at the information and wonder, how did this car that has been tested over 3,000 times explode? No, I do not wear a tin hat. I look at the evidence, and I'm bringing you truth. I'm bringing you real information, viable information, that yes, journalists do get murdered for their work. Yes, this incident with the journalist Michael Hastings is worth taking a look at, and that the information scientifically, the information with the LAPD, or LA, Los Angeles, the police department, with the spokesperson, all this information does not add up. We are currently waiting for a coroner report from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, and we will investigate this situation a lot further until we come to the point of a conclusion. Can we say systematically that things don't add up? This point of reasoning that we used shows something different than what they're saying, and like I said, it is worth investigating. This is Keith Pitts. I'm signing off for Independence Nation. I'll see you next time.